Fala galera, beleza? Fabrício Marvel aqui na área de novo com mais um vídeo pra vocês. Hoje eu tenho uma surpresa bem legal pra galera que é fã de Marvel Legends, né? Eu tive a oportunidade de entrevistar o time da Hasbro Global, né? E levei algumas perguntas dos fãs brasileiros pra eles responderem. Acompanha aí. Galera, então já deixa eu começar esse vídeo agradecendo aí a todos vocês que enviaram as suas perguntas, né, lá pelo Instagram do canal, @toysandtravels. Eu fiz uma enquete no último final de semana e mandaram umas perguntas bem legais, mandaram muitas perguntas, na verdade, né, não foi possível responder todas porque a gente tem um tempo limitado, tá? Foram só 20 minutos de entrevista, mas eu espero que vocês curtam aí, tá? Esses três camaradas é que vão responder a gente hoje, né? É o Dwight, que trabalha no desenvolvimento de produtos da Hasbro, e o Ryan e o Dan, que são da equipe de marketing, né? Vocês devem conhecê-los das lives da HASBRO PULSE. Oi pessoal, tudo bem? Obrigado aí por me receberem, tá? Eu sou o Fabrício Marvel, eu já faço reviews de Marvel Legends aqui no Brasil desde 2010 e desde o ano passado que eu sou parceiro oficial da Hasbro Brasil, né? Então a gente está trabalhando em conjunto aí para promover a linha Marvel Legends aqui no nosso país, tá bom? Obrigado por me receberem aí nessa entrevista. Eu tenho algumas perguntas dos fãs brasileiros que eles enviaram, né? E eu vou traduzir aqui para vocês, eu vou fazer essa ponte, né, entre os colecionadores e vocês aí da Hasbro Global, beleza?
Yeah, our pleasure. I got my hat, I got my canary yellow, so I'm pandering as much as I possibly can. So I'm hoping that you give us some nice softball questions.
A minha primeira pergunta foi enviada por um fã do canal, né, e é relacionada ao Conan, né? O Conan o Bárbaro está de volta aos quadrinhos da Marvel, né, desde 2019. Ele faz parte, inclusive, de uma equipe bem diferente de Vingadores, né, os Vingadores Selvagens. Ele está preso agora no nosso tempo, então tá vivendo dentro da atualidade. E eu queria perguntar para vocês, existem planos de lançar uma figura do Conan agora que ele está de volta para a Marvel?
Who wants that one, guys? I'll at least say that we have looked at it. What, a year or so ago? I think there are some characters that, even though they are back in Marvel Comics, the creators still have some ownership over those characters. So there's an extra level of complexity if we were to go after the rights to those characters. Just because they're in the comics doesn't necessarily mean that we can do them right away. So I think Conan is one of those that we would have to, it would have to be an extra level of contracts to figure out. So there's no reason why we can't do it, but it is more complex, and I don't think there's any plans currently for that. But it is something that we could look at if there's enough fan support that they really want to see a character like that in Marvel Legends.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Fabricio. Just by the way, amazing display behind you. I've been waiting to say that. Looks great. And then, so to just piggyback on what Dwight said, in addition to certain comic characters, when there are instances where in the MCU, when there's a character that we don't do an unmasked version of, there's usually a very good reason to that, and it's not because we didn't think it was important. Sometimes there are certain talent rights as well. So there's a couple of handful examples over the recent years where we'll do a character but don't have the unmasked portrait. Sometimes those are a little more challenging. So those are just some of like the business concerns, but we'll still try to put out as much as we can.
Awesome, thank you. Well, here in Brazil, you are always paying attention for your display too. We know you always put something, some spoilers on your display over. So every time you post a new picture on Twitter, fans all over Brazil in the groups share the picture. Hey guys, take a look, and they started to look all the small details. This is great, man. A minha próxima pergunta foi feita pela minha filha, né? Ela tem 14 anos, começou a ler quadrinhos há pouco tempo e ela adora os heróis adolescentes, né? E a minha pergunta é relacionada aos Jovens Vingadores, tá? Vocês lançaram há algum tempo atrás a Kate Bishop, né? A Gaviã Arqueira, só que ela tá sozinha na coleção. Eu queria saber se tem planos de lançar, né, de repente um pack com os Jovens Vingadores, assim como foi feito na época da Toy Biz, que a gente teve aquele 4-pack com os Jovens Vingadores.
I think it would be cool to do some of those characters. I know we just got like basically what we have Wiccan was in Disney Plus, right? And WandaVision, wasn't that one of I mean, that was kind of a version of one of Wanda's children. So I think people have started to see those characters. I think we could definitely go down that path. I know there's a whole pile of them, like you said, that we haven't even begun to address. And we're always open to what's the next team that we haven't put a lot of effort in for any number of reasons. You know, we always have so much stuff that we develop that's towards that entertainment slate, and then we have some classic stuff. So I think some of those characters are great options to get thrown into the mix for those random classic characters that we do.
This is another thing that I love about Marvel Legends, because I love to complete the teams. I read comics for over 25 years, so every time Marvel Legends announce some new character, and it's like Quasar or Nova, to complete some teams, man, I became crazy here. It's amazing.
What you have to let us know which of the Young Avengers your daughter would want to see first.
She loves Hulkling and Wicano, so I think they would be a great 2-pack, because there was a new saga in Marvel Comics, and they got married, and we have all this stuff about representativity, and so it would be awesome, like a marriage 2-pack or something like this. So I guess she would like maybe a deluxe Hulkling figure with some wings to attach and this kind of thing. So all my questions are about unreleased characters, because when I post on my Instagram accounts, hey guys, do you want to ask something to Hasbro Global team? And a lot of questions are about unreleased figures. So I'm just trying to translate them for you guys and try to hear something good for the future. Maybe if these plans are occurring, hey, do you remember it was our idea or something like this?
Yeah, we'll definitely give you a shout out if any in the future, any of the characters you mentioned, we'll give you guys some love. And we really appreciate you, translating and letting us know. It's really important to us so that we have a global perspective. So Brazil is a very big and important market for us. So thank you for, letting us know. Unfortunately, I don't think in the interview we're going to be able to confirm anything really. It's awesome to hear your perspective and the perspective of even your daughter. And we'll definitely give you guys a shout out whenever something happens that you call out.
Ano passado a gente teve uma coleção inteirinha baseada nos X-Men da Fox, né? E os fãs brasileiros estão ansiosos para saber se essa coleção vai ter uma continuação, né? A gente vai ver outros personagens, né, dos X-Men, né, e também do filme do Deadpool na linha Marvel Legends. E outra coisa, né, é possível no futuro a gente ter também uma nova coleção baseada na trilogia do Sam Raimi, do Homem-Aranha.
Yeah, so for the X-Men movie line, currently no immediate plans to do that, although now that Fox, was acquired by Disney, everything's kind of under the single umbrella. Maybe when we get a new Deadpool film, if and when that happens, we could go back at some point, but no immediate plans for any of those X-Men movies, although that's not to say we would never go back. And then in terms of the Sam Raimi trilogy, we've definitely heard, a lot of requests for that. There's this Spider-Man movie coming out, which we're really excited about, although we actually don't know what fully happens in it. So we've got the figures we've already revealed for that. Maybe there might be a chance to go back to do that. It's a tough call. Again, that film, that trilogy in particular was, is Sony obviously, and is not technically, canon with the MCU, so it's a little bit more challenging. But if the fans still continue to demand it, just like they have done with the X-Men franchise since 2000, right? It'll probably get in the line at some point, I imagine.
Essa é uma outra pergunta enviada por um fã do canal, né? A gente teve o lançamento aqui no Brasil, agora em agosto, de uma wave inteira baseada nas séries do Disney Plus, né? A gente tem o Capitão América, Sam Wilson, né? Figuras aí do Falcão e do Soldado Invernal, do Loki, de WandaVision, né? Mas ficou faltando o Falcão com aquele uniforme que ele apareceu no início da série, né? Existem planos de fazer uma figura nova do Falcão com aquele uniforme?
I agree with you. That's a great costume. It's probably like my favorite version of his looks that we've seen so far from film and Disney Plus. There's no plans today to get that figure out, but we are always looking at what the next Disney Plus wave is. And once we're introduced to characters or significant costume changes, we can always find a place to go back to them. We might just add those types of characters in upcoming waves, or as Disney Plus continues to grow and be an awesome new way of getting entertainment out there, we might have other programs, down the line where we kind of celebrate Disney Plus and we can go back to all the different shows and do black and white versions of Wanda and Vision, do Falcon in his original costume, so on and so forth. There's lots of characters we didn't get to from Loki. So there's tons of stuff out there, and we trust me, we have giant Excel documents of lists where we add, like, we have what we're doing for the year, and then we have like a supplemental list that we always add characters to track, to make sure that we don't ever forget something that has happened, because there's so many Easter eggs. We just never know when we're going to have the opportunity to go back and do them. So we're always keeping our eyes on.
A minha próxima pergunta é sobre um vilão que certamente vocês já receberam vários pedidos para lançar esse personagem, né? Mas ultimamente ele ficou bem popular, né? Porque teve muitas teorias malucas, né? Sobre ele aparecer ser o grande vilão de WandaVision, né? Eu estou falando do Mephisto. Tem planos de lançar o Mephisto na coleção Marvel Legends?
I would love to find a home for Mephisto. There's a whole bunch of the weird monsters and demon characters from all different pieces of Marvel universe that I would love to find a place for. I know for me, sometimes it's just challenging, right, guys, to find those characters that lie outside of the big entertainment beats. That's where a lot of our focus is, because that's where all of the heat is for the year. But we do have, each of us have, I know our favorites. You mentioned Mephisto. I really want to do Darkchild. I think that would be a cool character to get out at some point. And I'm sure the guys also have some favorites that they'd love to see if we could find a place for them.
A próxima pergunta também é da minha filha. Eu falei para vocês que ela adora heróis adolescentes, né? Então a minha próxima pergunta é sobre os campeões. No passado, a gente teve aí alguns Marvel Legends, né, dos campeões lançados. Faltam alguns personagens para a gente completar essa equipe adolescente, né? Falta o Amadeus Cho, falta a Vivi Visão, né, que é a filha do Visão, e falta também o Ciclope, né, adolescente. Tem previsão de lançar esses personagens? É possível encaixar eles dentro de alguma wave?
I'll speak for Viv. I know we've tried to find a home for her in the past. She's just so expensive. It's been challenging because she's not, she's got her pants and all of the tech lines that are in her body. It's like, ideally, we'd like to sculpt all of those scribes and those facets of the plates in instead of just trying to deco them, because it would be really expensive to deco. So for her, we just haven't found the opportunity yet because of the expense of the character. But we've honestly, we talked about Amadeus Cho just today. So, we're trying to find, places for those types of characters, because they're, and the young Cyclops, we probably could put that on our Miles body. I don't know if that would look right or if that would be too small. We might even need, maybe there's like a size somewhere in between there on our base bodies. But yeah, champions are cool. I know we've only given you so far just I think Miles, right? I know there's been some other guest people that have come in and out of the team, and Kamala, right? We've done Kamala Khan and we've done Miles, but yeah, you're right. There's a whole bunch of them that we still need to chip out. And actually, that would be a nice box set too. Just putting those three together, right, guys?
I think we did Kid Nova too back in the Guardians movie year.
Yep, good point.
Yeah, but yeah, challenging when there's like those teenage bodies where it's a little tougher. We'd have to tool them from scratch, like Dwight said. But hopefully, and I know Dan's a big Amadeus Cho fan as well, so we'll hopefully get to him soon.
Yeah, anytime we have a meeting and it's like, what character should we do? He's always one of the characters I yell at Dwight. I put it in cap locks. I'm like, Amadeus Cho, come on. You know,
it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man animation. It's X-Men or Amadeus Cho. That's all we get out of Dan.
It's true.
And Firestar.
Esse ano, com certeza, é o ano do Quarteto Fantástico, né, para Hasbro, para a coleção Marvel Legends, além do projeto HasLab, né, com o Galactus, a maior figura Marvel Legends já lançada. A gente também teve um anúncio recente de uma coleção inteira baseada no Quarteto Fantástico, tá? Só que agora eu queria perguntar, né, será que tem possibilidade de lançar, né, 2 personagens que, na minha opinião, ficaram faltando para a gente completar a equipe do Quarteto Fantástico com o uniforme atual dos quadrinhos? Eu estou falando dos 2 filhos do Senhor Fantástico e da Mulher Invisível, o Franklin Richards e a Valéria.
We gotta do Franklin and Valerie, and then with those other champions we were just talking about, we'll just do a whole line of kids, Runaways. Who else is in there?
Awesome, Runaways too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
honestly, if we make a couple of those new mid-sized bodies, we could definitely use them for a whole bunch of characters, couldn't we? We just like keep those things in circulation for quite a while.
Bem, minha última pergunta é sobre a linha Marvel Legends Ultimate Riders, né? A gente teve algumas figuras, né, dos personagens com seus veículos sendo lançadas aí ao longo dos anos. Tem planos de continuar essa linha? Será que a gente pode sonhar com o motorista fantasma, né, com o Robbie Reyes, com aquele carro de fogo lá, o carro flamejante dele?
Yeah, I think Robbie and his car would be much larger than what we've currently delivered on the Ultimate Riders assortment. I mean, I want Danny Ketch on his motorcycle. I would like to have Vengeance. I would like to have Slade as the Centaur, undead horse guy. There are a lot of awesome Ghost Rider type characters with rides that I would love to see somewhere in the line, whether those are deluxe, super deluxe, like the MODOK, or I don't know if we're fortunate enough to do even like a much larger scale car. I would imagine that car would be, I don't know, if Dad, you had your hands up, that's probably like, 18, 20 inches long? I mean, that'd be a big piece of hardware, but it would look beautiful. That is true.
Então é isso, galera. Infelizmente, essa entrevista chegou ao fim, tá? E eu tinha mais um monte de perguntas para fazer. Imagino que você que está me assistindo aí também já pensou em um monte de perguntas, né? Mas infelizmente dessa vez não deu tempo. O tempo do time lá da Hasbro Global era bem limitado, né? Só 20 minutos e passa muito rápido quando a conversa tá boa. É ou não é? Tá? Mas de qualquer maneira, eu deixei registrado o meu agradecimento em nome dos colecionadores e fãs de Marvel Legends aqui do Brasil, a equipe da Hasbro, por, né, ceder esse tempinho para responder os questionamentos aqui dos fãs. É o que eu sempre falo para vocês aqui no canal, galera. Contem comigo como colecionador e fã de Marvel Legends para levar a nossa voz até lá fora, direto ao fabricante, tá bom? Obrigado aí por terem assistido. Se você gostou desse vídeo, clica no botãozinho de like, né? Qual desses supostos novos lançamentos ou figuras que não foram lançadas, que a gente comentou no vídeo, que você gostaria de ver acontecer de verdade? Já pensou se um desses aí acontece? A galera vai poder dizer assim, pô, isso aí foi ideia lá dos brasileiros. Então, escrevam para mim aí nos comentários, vamos bater um papo sobre Marvel Legends e a gente se vê no próximo vídeo aqui do canal. Valeu, galera! Tchau, tchau!